you hear that?
Yeah.
This meeting is being recorded
The
government
by this, what's it called? Almost said NWA, but it's not NWA.
CIA?
CIA, FBI,
FBI,
and
all of them.
NRA. I think it's NRA.
That's the Rifle Association.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. They're probably not recording.
But yeah, I don't know if they care quite as much, but
no, probably. But anyways, yeah, we'll just get started. So welcome everybody. This is the Anderson and Lindhardt Show. We're here with Sam Merrill,
the one and only.
One of our buddies. But yeah, man, how are you doing? How long have you been home from your mission?
Good. I've been home for 5 months. In a couple days will be my 5-month mark. So
quick, I imagine.
Yeah, seems super quick. Time has flown since I got off. Well, since like halfway through the mission, but especially since I got off the plane, time has just not stopped. It's insane.
What's been like one of the harder adjustments for you coming home?
Being alone. I hate being alone.
Yeah.
Like I remember the first couple of days, especially, I'd be like studying the scriptures or whatever, and I'd have a cool thought, and I'd like turn to the side to like share it with someone, and then I'm like, oh wait, there's no one here.
Yeah.
You just like sad music in the background, and you're like, I'm all alone.
Yeah. When I first got home, I was at home with my parents for like 3 months, and I was in my room that I grew up in with my little brother, and so he would, he's a high schooler, he would sleep in till, and he did online school, so he would sleep in until he like had to get on class, which was usually around 9 or so.
And then they keep the camera off anyway, so they just stay in bed.
He would get on and then just put the camera off and like buy shoes or whatever.
Yeah.
But anyways, I would get up just naturally, like would wake up around 6:30, and then I would just go sit at my little desk with just a little lamp, like it wouldn't wake him up, and I would study. And then same thing, man. I'd have a thought, and I'm like, oh, he's asleep. Like, so yeah, man, I feel that it's definitely a weird adjustment, but that's why you got to get married. You know what I'm saying?
That's right. Yeah.
That'll be your next companion, and that one will be forever. So
it takes so long to find them, dude. It's like weird, like this like transfer thing. Like I came home and I'm just waiting for my next companion.
Yeah.
This came so fast,
dude. Mine came quick. I don't even know how, but my companion came fast.
The assistants up in heaven were just like putting them together in the same area real quick. And it's just like, maybe my assistants are just piles or something. Taking
they're taking a nap real quick. They'll be back at it.
Yeah, they're like, we'll let Carter just kind of struggle for a sec.
Yeah.
What's been one of your favorite parts of being home so far?
That's a good question.
Carter with the good questions all the time.
Yeah. Just recently, the YSA ward that I'm in, the young single adult ward that I'm in, started doing a lot more activities, and so that's been a lot of fun. We had a movie night last night and watched the new Disney one, Raya or whatever.
What'd you think about it? Because I have opinions about that movie.
Well, I only saw like the first half because since I'm living at home, I have a curfew still, so I gotta get home. But
yes, sir, man.
But it was pretty good. I'm not one who analyzes movies or anything.
Oh, yeah. Okay. See,
like
I'll just like analyze them like unconsciously, and then after the movie, I'm just like, this was wrong with it. This was wrong with it. This part was all right. It was written well. The jokes were delivered poorly. Like,
oh no,
it was really good. Like things like that. And I'm like, why do I do this? Why can't I just enjoy a movie?
Yeah. No, I go to the movies and my brain just shuts off. I'm done. It's like a nap, but I still see stuff.
Just like the text he sent me about it. It's literally like,
man,
like this long. He was just like,
I was like, bro, have you seen Raya? It sucks.
No hate on Disney though. Disney's great.
Yeah, Disney makes great movies, and typically, because one of my complaints was it's predictable, and then I'm like, all right, I understand. Like Disney movies are predictable, and like part of it. And so I was like, maybe that's not the best argument I can make with
especially oddly with like parents in Disney movies. There's always like something's gotta happen to the parents every single time.
Yeah, like in Raya, the dad gets turned to stone like in the first like 15 minutes of the movie.
Yeah. Spoiler alert for anyone who hasn't seen it.
Oh yeah.
Come on.
Yeah, I promise you wouldn't
I'm
want
just
to see
gonna
it
watch
anyways.
that on my next date.
Yes. You can still watch it. But yeah, man. But that's good. Yeah, it's definitely good to like start getting to know your ward and whatnot. Like Riley moved here and we're in a family ward and like the median age is like 50, 45 to 50. So we're, other than the youth, we're the youngest by far.
Sounds like Portsmouth.
Exactly like Portsmouth. There's a few of those young families.
Yeah.
Other than that, it's mostly just like 50 and up. And they're all, but because church was so, when we first got here, it was just, we couldn't really meet anybody. Sacrament meeting was just like in and then you're out.
Yeah.
We're finally starting to like get to know people now and it feels good because we were feeling kind of lonely for a sec. So it's nice to get integrated a little bit, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. And just having that like community feel back at church.
Yeah.
That's been sweet as COVID, because we are just, well, our YSA ward's been back to 2-hour church for like a couple months.
Oh,
but
cool.
a lot of the family wards are like just getting back to 2-hour church.
Yeah, this was only our second week last week. And so
yeah, it's nuts.
Was it hard for you guys the first time going back to 2 hours? For me, it was.
It was for me.
Because how did I do 3 hours?
That's what I literally was driving home the other day from church with Riley, and I was like, how did we ever do 3 hours? Like, especially as a kid, man. Like, I can see how the adults can do it, but like as a kid,
I love it. I actually go to my family ward sacrament meeting, and then I run up to the YSA ward. So I still get my 3 hours of church.
Yeah. After sacrament meeting the first 2 weeks ago when we were first doing 2 hours, like sacrament meeting ended and I was like, all right, time to go home, man. And then I was like, oh wait, hold it. But it's great, you know. It's like I never regret staying. The meetings are always have something meaningful to offer. So
absolutely.
yeah.
Definitely.
So what have you been doing to like keep busy since you've been home? Like what do you got going on? You going to school, working?
A little bit of, yes. I don't have any full-time stuff, but so I'm coaching at a high school for track and field. Do the throwing events, shot and disc.
Okay.
It's a lot of fun because that's what I did in high school. And they were looking for someone to help out, so jumped into that.
The high school you went to?
It's actually the rival high school to the high school I went to.
It's like KD.
Yes.
I know. At first I felt really weird about it, but then I was like, because my high school reached out to me, but they just wanted me to volunteer. And then the rival coach, who I did like summer track with him every once in a while, and he reached out to me and was willing to pay. And so money talks when you need money. So
money talks for sure.
Yeah. So I'm at the rival high school.
Yeah.
I've only got 2 kids throwing, which is kind of sad, but we're working it out.
How heavy are the objects you guys throw? Are they all the same, or is it like different? Like kind of like in wrestling, like different weight classes, like different people who throw different weights.
So it goes according to like grade kind of. So like the middle school throws different than the high school, which throws different than college, at least for the guys. Oddly enough, the girls' implements stay the same weight all the way through, which is cheating, but that's whatever.
Yeah,
But the boys' high school disc is like around 3 pounds.
Okay.
Give or take a little bit. And then the shot put is 12 pounds.
How far can you throw that?
The shot put or the disc or both? Both.
Because the disc is like this, and then the shot put, is it like that?
Yeah, you push off the neck and out. Shot put in high school, I could get around like mid 40s. It's like 43, 44, something like that.
Yeah.
What the heck? Bro, I can't even throw a football that far. If I do, I put my arm out. I'm like, oh. God.
And then the discus, my best in high school was 157 feet.
Is that like a
Dang.
frisbee? Like it flies like a frisbee or no?
No, it actually spins. So you push it off of your pointer finger,
Really
and so it
I thought it
spins
was
out.
a frisbee. I didn't know. I've never done
5-pound frisbee, really cool.
it's just like you just see me outside practicing with the
You just-
tape a 5-pound weight onto that. Oh my god.
You know, you'd be surprised, but like I've seen some middle schoolers throw it like a frisbee, and I'm just like, what the heck? Like, what is your coach doing?
Yeah.
But yeah, so I've been doing that. Couple days a week I work at like a furniture store and just move stuff when they ask me to move stuff.
Nice.
And then I've been studying online to get certified as a personal trainer. So
Oh, dude, that's awesome.
yeah, I'm terrible at studying though. I hate.
Like having to focus.
Yeah.
Dude, it's like
Yep.
it seems like right as you sit down to focus to read or study or whatever, then your mind's like, all right, let's start going nuts.
Let's do everything else.
Yeah.
But study.
Not focused right now.
Or
And you're
your
like,
phone's
but I need to.
"Ding," and you're like, oh, I gotta take
Yeah.
this.
Gotta take this.
Yeah, man. Or you're like, I'm just gonna watch that YouTube video. It's a good time.
Or
But-
I'm gonna take a nap right now.
Yeah, I feel like focus is a muscle that we have to train, and I need to get better at it. Where it's like, okay, I want to, because right now I'm just trying to do a lot of like self-education, and it's like, all right, I'm gonna sit down, read 20 pages of this book, and listen to like 30 minutes of this lecture, and then I'll like sit down, and then my mind just starts wandering, and it's like you have to keep pulling it back, and it's tiring mentally.
Yeah.
But I really believe that if we can do that enough times, it'll get easier and easier and easier. Just like how, like right now, I'm implementing a new habit to go to the gym in the morning.
Yeah.
Now that I've lived here for a while and I've gotten like a good schedule with my work, I was going in the afternoon, and the morning just seemed like it would work better. And so this is my second week going to the gym every morning, and this morning I woke up naturally for the first time in 2 weeks. So I've been waking up at 5:15, and like each morning it's been like motivation is non-existent. It's all discipline. Like it's all a decision I made to get out of bed at 5:15. So it's all discipline. That's what's been carrying me out of bed. And so I've done that last week, did that this week. And then today I like woke up it was 5:06, and I woke up and I was like, dude, I'm ready to go. Like, so it's starting to get easier. So I imagine the focus muscle is similar. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, and that's like, do y'all ever like do meditation?
Yeah.
That's what I noticed helped me a ton, and I haven't done it in a while, and I need to get back on
I've
it.
been
But
off that horse, man, and I did one the other night for the first time in probably 6 weeks, which is awful for me to say, because it's anytime I have been consistently meditating, even if they're just like 10-minute ones or even 5-minute ones on a day where you're struggling to find time, it's like, man, that's a game changer in all aspects, like physically, mentally, spiritually. Like that is just, that'll take you to the next level.
Yeah, seriously. And it, like, all of it talks about like, don't get mad at yourself for losing focus, just draw yourself back in or whatever. And it's like, that's what I need like every day while I'm just studying. I just need someone in my ear, like, don't be mad, just refocus,
When
get
that
back in it.
comes on, like I have the Calm app, and that's how I kind of learned to meditate. Was I just did those guided ones for about 6 months, and it really helped me.
Did you do the girl voice?
Definitely the girl voice.
Of course, absolutely.
Yeah, man. But after like 6 months, then I started to be able to meditate just with either no sound or like background music. But I still like those guided ones, because I'll start to get off track and I won't even notice it. And then she'll be like, if you're off track, don't worry.
You're like, how did you know?
And I'm like, but yeah, when I'm by myself and I'm studying and I get off track, I'm like, dang it, it's ruined. I can't study anymore. And then I'll forget about it, man. But it's like, we gotta work on that. So
Yeah.
glad we're on the same boat there. Yeah. I'm sure a lot of other people are too. So
what made you want to go into the to be a personal trainer? Like, is that something you've always wanted to do, or is that something that's like recently come? And is that like your career path? Like, you're not planning on like going to normal school, you're just gonna go and be a physical trainer?
I don't know the long term 100% yet, but
That's okay, neither do we.
no, it's so personal training is something I had thought about a lot before my mission. And then as I got going, like right before I left on my mission, I was like, physical therapy sounds like something I would really enjoy. Because I mean, I love exercise, I love helping and serving people, and physical therapy is a good medium of the both. So that's kind of what I've set my mind towards. And for now, the personal training was like in my thoughts, it was a great first step to get the knowledge about the body and the movements and the biomechanics of things. And then it'll be like a good job to hold while I go through school. Because as a trainer, it's depending on how you go about setting up your training, it basically can be whenever you want. Like it runs off of your time. And so I could do it before class, after class, in between classes. And so that was kind of the thought process of it. But I've always enjoyed working out, and I've had a lot of friends who just like, hey, if you need to do this, like what should you do? And I'm like, you just try this exercise or this exercise and throw it together. And so it's something I've always enjoyed. So I figured why not like go through and actually get the paper that says I can do it.
Right. Yeah.
No, I like how I think that's a like a really mature like thought process to be like, hey, I'm not gonna go. I don't know if you're going to school right now, but being like, I'm gonna invest some of my time and being like, I'm gonna get certified in something that's gonna help me and be more beneficial than like not that it's the worst thing in the world to just come home and go to school and get a job at like Sonic or something, but it's like getting because like for me, like in high school, I went and got certified in graphic design and stuff like that. And that like provided me with a lot better opportunities. Like I just invested a little bit of time that I could have been going to maybe like normal school.
Yeah.
And then being able to then when you're in school be more effective. I think that's a really cool like thought process that I'm now just putting together. It's like it would be like smarter for people to like just go get certified in something and then like because schooling isn't like there's benefits to it, stuff like that, but being able to, like you said, like being able to either progress your career or being able to have a job that will either provide more money or better opportunities while you go through that. That's kind of sweet.
Yeah, absolutely. And it is like some people are ready to just jump right back into school, but I've been graduated for 4 years. And so I feel like another part of it is I needed something to kind of get my brain back into that flow. Because I'm not a huge school person. And like I know it's important and for some people it's essential. Like I don't want doctors that like got their certifications on Zoom or anything like that. Like I do want doctors who go to school and things, and so there are people who like need it
For sure.
And I do feel like I need it in the long run, but I just wasn't ready for it yet. So I'm taking the time that I need to be ready so that I don't just go waste money for 4 years or however long.
Yeah, man, very smart. Because like you said, everyone's different.
Mm-hmm.
People will thrive if they. I knew Elder Fry, Frey, I think it was. He like got home and literally like that. I think he got home and drove to BYU.
Oh my gosh.
Day, but it's like for some people, it's like, yo, I need like 6 to 12 months to like get myself back into it. So that's smart, man. So how long is the certification program? Like how long until you're finished? Or is it on your own timetable or what?
So it's on your own timetable. It's supposed to be about 8 to 10 weeks. Cool. But like I said, I'm terrible at studying, so it's taking a little longer. But I thought I had to just read the whole book while I was studying. And then they do like these video lectures through the program that I'm in. And they're like, just watch the video. And then whatever you don't like understand or remember super great, then go read the book. And I'm like, that would have been so much easier from the beginning.
Reading the book this whole time.
Yeah, I've been studying the textbook the whole time.
Yeah.
Clawing my eyes out because it's just lots of big words and reading. But so cool. I'm sure the pace will pick up here soon. And I'm in like the biology section of it more or less, which isn't what I love. So as soon as I get into like the muscles and the biomechanics of the body, I'm sure it'll fly through a lot quicker.
Yeah, like it might grip your attention more than it's a lot easier to focus when you're actually enjoying what you're studying.
Exactly.
Cool.
Yeah, it's so weird to me, like, because I'm in going into my third semester of school. I was kind of like you. I took like 8 months off before I went back to school, and it's just like so weird to me, like how like when I'm taking like my business classes, it's like, okay, I actually like enjoy studying this. Or like I'm reading my business textbooks or doing a project, but when it's like English, basically anything besides my business class, I'm like, dude, this this is so stupid.
Yeah.
It is, and that's like the hard thing for me to mentally prepare for about school is like there's those classes you have to take, which is just a bummer because you're spending money on it. But once you get into like, all right, I want to focus on business or focus on therapy or whatever it is, like then it becomes fun. Then you enjoy
Yeah.
the learning rather than forcing the learning.
100%, man. So yeah, I kind of want to, because Carter and I have brought up exercise and working out on this podcast a bunch, because it's just something that we've implemented into our lifestyles and have ebbed and flowed a little bit with it over the years, but for the most part have stayed really consistent with it and seen a lot of great benefits. And so one thing I wanted to talk about, what's been on my mind a lot, is like the why of working out, because I have a lot of thoughts on it. Like what's a sustainable why to keep you going to the gym? Because I go to the gym, and I see the same people there every single day, but then I see people who show up like once or twice every once in a while. And I'm like, I'm glad they're coming, but what's stopping them from being consistent every single day? And I think part of it, not the only answer, but I believe part of it is their why may not be right for them. So I just want to know, like, because when I started working out in high school, my why was to not have scrawny arms and to actually get a chest, because I like my up here was like this big when I was a sophomore, and I was like, it's unacceptable, man. So I made a friend with a kid who was lifting, and he was a grade below me, and he was way bigger than me. So my junior year of high school is when he taught me how to lift, and that's when I started to see results. And so my first why was totally looks, man. Like it was high school. I was vain. Like it was totally looks, but I don't think that's necessarily bad to have a why that's looks, just to bridge you into a deeper why. Like I don't think that's a sustainable why, but I just want to know, like, what was your first why, if you even had one, or if you even can recall it, and how has that why changed? How has it gotten deeper, or has it changed?
Yeah, absolutely. Similarly, my first why was the looks of it.
Yeah,
want to look good.
The big muscles, man.
When did you start, like, working out? I mean, you're pretty big, probably like 12 or 13.
So my dad had a rule that we weren't going to lift weights until we were 12 or 14 or something like that. So I didn't start working out until later. I think my freshman year was like the first time actually in like a gym at the high school gyms. So that was probably the first couple times I really was working out. I mean, you do body weight stuff here and there as a kid, and I did a lot of push-ups because my older brother was a big football player, and so we used to do this thing where every time a commercial break would come on TV, because my family watches a lot of TV and movies and stuff, whenever a commercial break would come on, we'd like pump out some push-ups, do some sit-ups, and then once the show started, then you stop, and that's your break in between.
That's fun.
So we used to do a lot of push-ups and stuff, but yeah, probably working out first little bit was freshman year, and it was absolutely a why of just like looking better, because I was a little thicker in middle school, and so I was picked on. Yeah, I was a little big around the midsection, but so I was picked on here and there, and so like I just wanted to change it. And so partially looks and partially like I want to be big enough that no one's gonna say anything to me anymore. So like self-preservation, I guess, kind of thing. But and then probably around junior year, it changed to like, all right, I want to get stronger for throwing, because that was my main sport, was track and field and throwing shot and disc, and I wanted to be good at it. It's something that I still want to continue in. Like if I can get into it in college
Oh,
and
cool.
compete for the school that I'm at, I'd love to do that. Um, so then it kind of changed to the training aspect of like, all right, I got to get bigger, I got to get stronger, got to get faster, whatever it was. And then after I graduated, I knew I wasn't going to school right away, and so I wasn't going to be throwing as much. I still did a little bit of summer throwing here and there and and things, but so then probably a year after I graduated, so about 8 months before I had my mission paperwork in and stuff, it turned into just like a mental health kind of thing. And I went because it felt good and it distracted me from other things that I was I was trying to get out of my life.
Mhm.
It was just a distraction and it pulled me away from the world. And it's like my quiet place. My happy place was in the gym,
Mhm.
working out with heavy weights and stuff. That's
Cool.
probably been the flow of my whys,
Mhm.
give or take a little bit.
For sure.
How did that change on your mission? Because like as a missionary, it's like I don't know about you, but like I until probably like 9-ish months on my mission, I didn't really like work out like super hard. It was maybe like doing just sit-ups in the morning and stuff.
Mhm.
How did working out on your mission kind of go, or like how did you maintain that?
Not well. On the mission, so I was never a morning exerciser. Whenever I went to the gym, it was like either right after work at like 3 or 4, or after I stopped working full time, I'd go at like noon, just the
Mhm.
middle of I'd eat lunch, take like an hour, and then go work out or whatever. Um, so to begin with, I wasn't a huge morning lifter, and so that was hard to adjust to. And then it just became not as much of a focus anymore.
Mhm.
Like I was like, obviously you got to exercise, stay healthy, continue to move your body, but it was just like there's other things that I'm trying to focus on, trying to do, trying to get done. And so it kind of dropped off a little bit. But my last couple transfers, I was with Drew Schultz, and he's a big runner. And so he's the only companion who, what was that?
He's a runner.
Oh yeah, I don't know if he enjoys it, but he ran every morning.
Oh wow.
And so he was like one of the first companions who could actually get me to run more than once or twice a transfer.
Yeah.
And so then I started just exercising with him, and we'd go run at some soccer fields that were right by our house and then our apartment. And then we'd go out and then we'd get home, maybe do like a little couple exercises and then shower and get ready. So I ran 2 miles straight for the first time in a really long time, or
Yeah.
ever. I've never, before that, I had never run 2 miles straight. And
Yeah, I've never run other than maybe like I don't know if you run that much in a basketball game. Maybe.
Probably did up to 2 miles.
probably
Maybe.
pretty close.
Other than that, no. Like I've never put straight like on a track or on a field or something. Never done
I don't recommend it. I had all these people like,
that.
I was in Charlottesville, and there was this member, Sister Papinga was a huge runner,
Mm.
and she's like, "You just got to run 2 miles. You just got to do it." And I was like, "No, I'm not doing that." And then I got transferred, and then a couple transfers later, all these people were like, you just got to wait till you hit the runner's high at I
Wait,
don't
here,
know, but I
Running
did
high
not.
feels like you're gonna throw up. That's what it feels.
Yeah.
I'm like,
I,
high is weird.
dude, I do get the lifters high,
Oh yeah.
like big time. But I've listened to a lot of different nutritionists and personal trainers and stuff, and a lot of them say once you start to get that high feeling, you should end your workout soon after because
Mhm.
that high feeling it kind of numbs your body to how much you're wrecking it, and you can often overtrain, or if it's not that extreme, just get really, really sore and then maybe have to skip a day of working out in order to avoid overtraining. So yeah, once I start to get that like lifters high, I'm like, all right, just got to start winding down and get out of here, even though it feels like so good and you want to keep going, but it's like, nah, because now all those endorphins are literally like numbing the pain that my body's feeling right now. And so I just got to cut it off.
Yeah. And if you can't feel it, you're more likely to push yourself heavier and heavier, and then you're going to hurt yourself.
Yeah.
And then you have to take a break because
Yep.
now you're out with a bicep injury or a chest injury or
like shoulders are so common, man.
I have a story
yeah.
about this.
All right, let's hear it.
So
Recent.
no, it was not
okay.
recent. So I have a bleeding disorder called hemophilia where I give myself a shot every other day. And growing up, my mom started a 5K to like raise awareness and support and stuff for kids with hemophilia. So it's called the Blood Run. And like, but she was a big runner until like her knees started or whatever. Anyway, we would all go and run in this like every year. And I can't remember. It had to be like the first or second year. I was like, I'm gonna run the 5K because they do like a mile and then they do a 5K. And like when I was little, like I was probably like 7 or 8. Anyways, I would just do the mile and I was like, I'm gonna do the 5K this year. I'm like 9 or whatever. And I like go ham. Like I'm like this little 9-year-old just like pushing himself like super hard. And like my mom would always tell me, she's like, the last leg of the race, you just gotta like sprint like as hard as you can. She's like, you're not gonna be able to feel your legs. And it feels, I don't know if you guys have done it, but like when you run for a little while and then you sprint, like you can't even like feel your legs. It kind of feels like you're floating a little bit.
Yep.
Anyway, so I'm like heading down the home stretch and I'm like booking it. There's like pictures of me, I'm like floating in the air. Anyways, so I finished the race and I'm like push my I would assume that's kind of like the runner's high when you can't feel your legs or whatever. Anyways, pushing myself like super hard and I'm like going through the line of like they're handing you your tickets and stuff and I just barf all over. I'm just like,
oh no.
Oh my gosh, dude, it was so
that's nasty. Yeah, see, I one time it was Thanksgiving last year. I was at the time I was pretty much living at Riley's house, and so like it was morning and everyone was like cooking the Thanksgiving like lunch and dinner, and so they had a rack, like a squat rack and a bunch of dumbbells in their garage, and so I went in there and I was working out and I got the lifters high, and this is when I really committed to like, okay, when I get that high feeling, just get out of here, because I started to get it and I went so hard and I almost threw up after the workout. And I was just like laying on the ground. I was like, oh my gosh, why did I do this? Like it felt so good at the time. So yeah, that's an interesting thing. It's like, get out of there, man, or else you're gonna hurt yourself. Have you seen the video of this dude incline benching 495 pounds in his pec? Dude, I watched it yesterday. It's so gnarly, man. Like, oh.
It was so funny because I follow a lot of like lifting and fitness pages on my social media.
Yeah.
And so like the next 2 weeks, there's just like people like when you've seen the video and then they're like inclining like just the bar because they're scared.
It's so
like
scared.
Shaking. And I was like, I love inclines. So I'm like throwing like 200 pounds on, just going for it, like whatever.
Yeah. No, yeah, dude, that video is so intense.
That's
like
gnarly.
Somebody at work told me they're like, Reese, can you handle like pretty gnarly videos? Like, oh yeah, man, no worries. Like I can handle gory stuff. And then they like showed me it and I was like, oh god.
Yeah.
Oh, I was like, dude, no, man.
I
Like,
can't push myself to watch it because I know I'm just gonna be scared to do any type of bench press again. I can
watch tears, but like the ones that I cannot watch are like the ones on the leg press. You see people on leg press and see like fail. I can't watch those because I know what's gonna happen, and I just can't see that ever.
Yeah, I don't know if I could watch that, man.
My friend was like, "Yeah, watch this video," because I told her I was like watching
like the knee bend.
Yeah, no, I told her I was like, I like to watch like sports injury. I don't know about you guys, but when I was like 16 or 17, I just like look up like top 10 worst basketball injuries or whatever.
Like
I'm
Paul George snapping his leg.
Yeah, and she was like, oh, you'll like this video. She showed me the leg press one and like the dude's leg like gets freaking bent back. I'm like, why would you show me that? I'm gonna be scared to do it.
So terrible. So terrible.
Yeah. How much pain that would be to like have your knee literally, I can't.
See, that's why we need personal trainers, man, because a lot of people out here in the gym are just throwing caution to the wind and just either going too heavy for their own good or their form is just not good. And that's one thing I got like super nerdy on was form. like early on, because the kid who taught me how to lift was like such a geek about form. He was like, Reese, we're not going to let you go heavy until your form is like pristine. And so,
Amen.
we would work out in the high school gym after school. And so, I'd be like, if we were doing a barbell curl, then he's like, you're just going to use the bar until it's like perfect, like no cheating or anything and whatever. Got it. Or like I'd use the curl bar that was like 25 pounds. And was like, I felt kind of lame because I'm like, this is so light, but I'm so glad I went through that phase. And I still do it. Like with shoulders, I'll always make sure I'm going a little bit lighter. And if it's feeling good, then because you just see so many dudes just going ham, and it's like, man, don't get, if you start ego lifting, then that's when it gets dangerous. And most people don't. Like I go to the gym every day. Most people don't, but every once in a while, some dude will come around and end up hurting himself. But yeah, man, working out, it's been like a life changer for me, and it's cool to see how the why has gotten deeper. Like my why started out with looks, and looks is still on my list of whys. Like
Absolutely.
it still is for sure, because yeah, I want to look good, it makes me more confident, look good, feel good. But it's like it's at the lower quadrant of my whys, and on the mission, my why morphed into, I wanted to have energy throughout the day because I kept getting so freaking tired as a missionary. And I realized that, well, one, I'm not eating that well, and two, I'm not exercising every single day. And if I am, then they're just like, I'm not actually like putting energy into it. So my why became, muscle has more energy. I want more energy. Therefore I need more muscle. And so my why was, I want to have energy to do the work. And that why sustained me for 14 months. I rarely missed a day of working out. When I was training Elder Davis in Harker's Island, we would wake up at 6 o'clock and go down to the church and work out so I could have an extra 30 minutes of exercise. And like, it just sustained me so well, throughout the remainder of my mission. I had more energy, like noticeably, and I had more mental clarity, and I had more control over my emotions, and I had more awareness of my thoughts. And so that kind of leads us into, a lot of people intuitively know this, but I don't think they have like tangible evidence for it. But how does exercising help you mentally, whether it's mental health or even just like focusing or mental clarity, things like that?
Well, and even I'll take it a step further and say that it helps like your excuse me, your like spiritual, your emotional, mental, and your physical are way more connected than I think a lot of people think.
I agree with that. Yeah.
Yeah, and I learned that in like the second month of COVID. I dropped emotionally really, really hard because I went from like loving to be outside, loving to talking to people face to face, everything I could do. Like I turned into the open your mouth guy. Like I was just all about it, trying to do as much as I could. And then we were inside. And like the first month, I was like, okay, they said 2 weeks. Like I'll give it 2-3 weeks and then we'll be good. And then you hit the second month and it's like, oh, this is not ending ever, huh? And like I'm just stuck here.
Yeah.
And so I dropped emotionally pretty hard. And after talking to Greg through Bay,
Greg, shout out.
Like, that man is amazing. He definitely changed my mission. But after talking to him a little bit and kind of looking at like my day to day and my mission life and stuff, and I realized in the last month, like I hadn't read the Book of Mormon just to read the Book of Mormon. Like it was a part of other studies here and there, but I wasn't reading the Book of Mormon just to be in the Book of Mormon. And I wasn't exercising in the morning because I had dropped like emotionally. I was just like, man, like I don't want to get up. I just want to lay in bed until I have to get up and study and this and that. And so then my physical dropped, my mental dropped, and my spiritual all dropped at the same time. And what I found in the next couple of weeks is like, because you don't, well, I mean, some people probably do, but I can't go all out on something until like I see benefits. And so I just started adding like little bits here and there. It's like, all right, today I'm going to read the Book of Mormon straight, like just 30 minutes straight, just get it in. And I found that like as you get one up a little bit, then the other two slowly start to climb. If you get two up, then the last one's going to be up with it. like being the spiritual, mental, and spirit or physical.
Mhm.
And so like that was a huge game changer, and kind of the why I was getting up every day and finding the motivation to get up every day, because it was really hard for a little bit. But like as long as I was like, all right, I just got to get up, I got to exercise, shower, and then I got to read the Book of Mormon, and then it's going to be a good day. Like I just got to get into it and like almost speaking it into existence and
Yeah.
making it happen. That's like that's what kept me going for the last 8 months of my mission.
Just make a
But
picture of that. Wake up, work out, shower, read the Book of Mormon. It's going to be a good day.
Yeah, man.
yeah, absolutely.
No,
And
yeah,
that's what it took.
that's great, man. Because when that happened, I had been home for 3 or 4 months. So when COVID happened, I remember Carter and you might have been with me. Anyways, I called. I was talking to like Sister Gervais on the phone or something.
Is it when we did that group FaceTime thing?
I think we were just on a call,
Okay.
and then she said, "Do you want to talk to Elder Saunders and Brinker?"
Oh, okay.
And were you with me?
No, I wasn't.
Okay, so I was just talking to Sister Gervais on the phone and Maddie, and then they were like, "You want to talk to, Saunders and Brinker?" And I was like, "Yes, I do." And so I was like, Saunders was supposed to come home, and I think he still had, God, how long? I think he still had 3 months, man. And then I was like, "What's up, man?" And he's like, "Hey, dude, I'm coming home on Wednesday." And this was on Monday, and I was like, "You're coming home on Wednesday?" It's like, "What?"
Yeah.
It's like, "Dude, I just found out today. I'm just as surprised as you, and this is insane." And I was like, "Holy crap!" And then he's like, "Yeah, all the missionaries are locked down." And then I talked to, President Gervais and Sister Gervais, and yeah, it was 2 weeks. And then I moved to Virginia right after that. And then the governor said June 10th. I remember that because I was selling pest control, and we were trying to be mindful of it. And so we're like, okay, June 10th, we don't have to worry about all this crap anymore. And then June 10th comes along, and then it's December, and then now it's like finally starting to phase out a year later.
Yeah.
I remember just praying for all the missionaries, because I know personally, I'm like,
I would have come home.
that would have been really tough on me. And it's good that you didn't sulk in that low emotional state for too long, and you figured out a way to climb out of it. And I like how you said, like, it's not like you're going to flip a switch. There's an important principle that I learned from a guy named Kirk Duncan. He's a self-help business owner. And he says everybody needs to install a dimmer switch. He's like, you're not off or on. There's a dimmer switch. You could be, one day you're a little bit lower, but you're not off. And one day you could be a little bit brighter, but it's not like you're all the way on. And so it's like, yeah, you just little by little start climbing out of it. And it's amazing. Yeah, once you get one of those categories up, like say you get your physical up, then it's so much easier to think better thoughts and feel better. And then because you think you're thinking better thoughts and you're feeling better, it's so much easier to meditate and to read your scriptures and to actually say sincere prayers. And it's like, or any of those, once you start doing this with the spiritual, then it's easier to think better thoughts, and then it's easier to feel good about yourself. Then it's easier to go to the gym. So it's like, you just got to get one of those up or two of those up, just little by little, super incremental bits that are not overwhelming. And from there, it's a little bit of a struggle at first, but then it starts to get easier and easier, and it's just exponential. And I think that's what's about life. I think too often we think it's just linear, and it's like, oh man, like it's gonna take forever to get there. And it's like, no, it's a grind at first, but it's exponential. Like it just is. It's true, and it is, and you feel that,
Well, and that's cool. The dimmer switch idea is a great idea, because that's actually something I've been working on recently.
Yeah.
So I was talking to a friend, and I was like, I don't know what it is, but like some days just are terrible. Like I wake up and I don't want to do anything.
Oh yeah.
And she's studying psychology at BYU, and she's like, that happens. Like you just have to learn to accept that like some days you're not going to be on, and that just is what it is. And you got to tune it down a little bit. And so like I've started doing that a little better. Like waking up, I used to get on myself really hard for not getting up when my alarm goes off or whatever. And now it's just like, if I'm ready for the day, get up and be ready for the day. If not, like take the extra 15-30 minutes and like prepare yourself. It's like a lot of times I'll like, my alarm will go off, I'll wake up, and for some reason I can't sleep on my back at all.
Oh really?
And so I'll just like roll over on my back and just kind of lay there and be like, all right, like, am I ready? Like, am I about to get up and get going, or do I need to just lay here for a sec? And sometimes I lay there for 30 minutes. Sometimes I lay there a little longer, but
Yeah.
like by the time I'm up, like that's the day. Like I'm getting started. We're gonna get working out. We're gonna get studying if I can focus on the studying.
Right. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it is.
Part of the dimmer switch principle and what your friend was saying is life is 50-50. Like I've heard people say on like gospel podcasts and stuff, and I think it's too often they'll say life is 80-20, 80% good and happy and 20%. And I'm like, no. Like that's way too high of an estimate. It's about 50-50. Like
It'd be nice if it was 80-20, but
but it's like
that's not life.
it's like the religious people forever have been saying life sucks really bad and it's really hard. But if it sucks this much, it's good this much.
Yeah.
And it's like you learn that in Second Nephi chapter 2. Lehi teaches it to his sons, like basically on his deathbed. I mean,
Or Alma, right?
Alma, yeah, and
Talks
Moses.
about how bitter the bitter was, and
Yeah.
but again, how great the joy was.
Exactly. And Moses was taught that by the Lord when, he did such a huge good, but for 40 years, they were in pretty much the depths of hell, just feeling so bad. And so it's like, life is 50-50. And if you recognize that and you don't resist that fact, then when you're kind of feeling off one day, so to speak, and you're just like, I don't really feel it. I don't really want it. Cause I feel that all the time. It's like, yeah, well, that's life. And because once you start resisting it, like, oh, I should feel good, I should be happy, then you're going to be really unhappy. But if you're just like, okay, this is what I'm feeling right now, what am I going to do about it? It's just life. Life's 50-50. There's opposition in all things. There's good and bad. And without the boring, sulky, sad, unmotivated emotions, we would never feel peace and motivation and excitement and all these great things. So it's like once you truly recognize that you need both sides, then you don't resist either side. And then when you're happy, you feel the happiness and you recognize it and you're grateful for it, but it's gonna go away, but it'll come back. And then when you're in the sad moments, you can tell yourself, okay, this is gonna go away. And then it'll probably come back, but it's gonna go, life is like this.
Yep.
It undulates. And I think the devil or the adversary, or however you want to think about it, wants you to think that life shouldn't undulate, that it should be either you're just keep getting worse for the rest of your life, or it just keeps getting better. Like, no, the plan is this.
Yep.
One of the things that's helped me with that, because I don't know about you guys, but like when I first went on my mission, 2 years felt like the heaviest thing. Like,
dude, I had so much anxiety.
It was just like
part of my mission, man.
Literally never gonna finish this. I'm gonna be in Virginia for the rest of my life, and I'm never gonna. Okay, still feels. I'm never gonna get married and have a family. But anyway, so like just like that like feeling and weight was like just so much, and it was just like I was gonna die, and so I had to like figure out a way to change my unknowingly, like how important this was. I like changed my thought process into being like, I need to just enjoy every moment for what it is. It's like I'm only going to be in training one time. I'm only going to be, in this my second area. I only have one second area, so I'm going to make the most of it. Or it's like I'm only going to be, a district leader here for so long, or I'm only going to be in this area for so long, so make the most of it. And it's been really interesting how that's then correlated to me being home and being like, all right, this day is really hard. This day really stinks, but it's like, one day I'm going to be having a really good day, and it's going to make it that much more meaningful, because it's like I'm just going to enjoy this really hard day and just try and make the most of it. Like, obviously it's not going to be maybe the most productive or the happiest day, but it's like I'm just going to try and get the very most out of it every day. And so something I've like implemented into my daily life is every single day I'll write down one thing I enjoy about like the moment. Like, what do I really enjoy about this moment? And a lot of the times it's like something really silly, like it's the NBA playoffs. Like that happens like 2 months out of 12 months. So it's like you might as well just enjoy it for what it is, because you don't always have it or whatever.
And they're good right now.
Well, LeBron's not in it anymore.
That's a good.
That's not. It's like for me, that's been really impactful, and it helps me like not have a lot of regrets in life, because it's like, you know what, I made the most out of it. And something that Reese taught me, it's very similar to like the dimmer thing, but he's like, you know, you're always talking about, well, you got to give 100% every single day, and it's like your 100% is going to be a lot different every single day. And so judging yourself on what you could have given that day is like, okay, what was my 100% today? Did I push myself to that? Because like you're saying, as a missionary, there's some days you woke up and you're like, literally the last thing I want to do is go knock on somebody's door and tell them about the Book of Mormon and wear this shirt and tie. Like literally, it's like the last thing you want to do.
Yeah.
It's true.
Like I want to, you know, I have made a commitment to this, and it's like I'm going to give my 100% that I can give today, and that's been something that's been helpful to me to like, because we're all pretty hard on ourselves, and being able to understand like, okay, my 100% is going to be different today than it's going to be, but knowing that it's going to ebb and flow, I think is like, if you do that, I think that's a really great way to find inner peace, is being able to recognize that your 100% is going to be different each day.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's why I think it like, you got to remember you need to give 100%, but just because 100% changes doesn't mean that, like, on that rough day, that's not giving 100%. Like you got to do all you can do.
Yeah.
Because if, like, say I was having a bad morning and I just didn't get out of bed, like, that doesn't change anything. I didn't fix my mental state. Well, for one, I didn't accomplish anything that day. And so, like, what's the point? Why would you just stay in bed all day? Like, you got to get up, you got to change something, you got to do something. That's like probably been the biggest thing for me mentally, is like, if I'm sulking in it, like, I just got to get up and move, like, get up and do something. Change your surroundings, change your whatever you're doing at the moment, do some push-ups or something right there on the spot, or whatever you can do. But I think a lot of times people will sit in it and then just be in it. And it's like, what are you doing to change it? Like, I know, I guess, not to downplay depression at all. I have a huge respect for people who like deal with that chronically. But a lot of times people who like just have an off day, they just sit in it, and it's like, change something, do something, move, talk to someone. That's something I've loved, and I really enjoy this, is I haven't talked to y'all in a long time, and y'all were a huge part of my mission, and just the dumb energy that y'all brought all the time. and that, like, that helped me a ton, was just talking. And so, like, talk to someone, reach out to someone that you like.
For sure, man. And I think that's a good place to end. It's a funny, life is so paradoxical. It's like, you know, there's going to be good and bad, and you're going to have a lot of bad days, but when you have those bad days, don't sit in it for too long. Don't set up camp there. And it's funny because it's like, we know it's going to be there, but when you're there, you want to get out. So life is always just, it's paradoxical, and it's always trying to find a balance. And, you know, we've had, like, Elder Bednar talks about, how do you balance being a father and having a career, and your wife and the cars need maintenance and whatever, everything. And he's like, you do one thing at a time. When you're at work, you're at work. When you're with your wife, you're with your wife. When you're with your kids, or when you're with your kids, you're with them. And so it's like, I just think in this state of mortality, we're never going to be able to balance life perfectly, and that's okay, you know, but we can just always do our best. And your 100% will look different, but you still got to try. And you can take excuses a certain length, but once you start taking them, you know, real far, like once you're laying in bed for an hour and a half because you don't feel it, it's like, okay, man, like, get
Change
up.
something.
No.
Never been.
Well, and that's, even with that, like, the brethren have said forever, like, the Lord loves effort. Like, just try, do something. Just got to put a little effort in, and he's going to bless you for it every single time.
Yeah. And I heard a quote this week from a coworker. He said, he found this quote that it's just 4 words: life responds to effort. And it's really true. So
Absolutely.
yeah, man, it was nice talking with you. We love you. We're glad that this could work out. We could squeeze a little time to make this work. So thank you so much.
No, definitely appreciate it. Love you guys.
Yeah, that's good to catch up. I'm gonna hurry and take a picture real quick.
Absolutely.
Put it on our story.
Bro, what's the weather like in Colorado right now?
Oh, it's beautiful. I'm sitting on my back porch just loving it.
Nice, dude.
It's supposed to get really hot, though. I think the weather is forecasted for like 91.
Mm.
and I'm gonna be out in that all day for my
Yeah.
track meet. So it'll be a hot one.
That's like us. It's weird. Just the other day, I woke up to go to the gym and it was 46 degrees outside.
Yeah.
And I was like, whoa, like this, it's usually been like 70 in the morning. So I like went back and got my hoodie, but the days have been getting hot. It's supposed to get 100 here in a few days. I mean, he's in St. George, so it's been like 105 down there.
That's super warm. Yeah. Well, that's like, I've fallen in love with the oversized sweater feel.
Yeah.
And so I threw on my oversized sweater. It was like probably upper 50s when I woke up this morning, but I had my fan in my window because I like to sleep cold.
Yeah, man, me too.
So I woke up freezing, threw on my sweater, and now it's like comfortable.
Yeah, yeah.
But in like another 10, 20 minutes, I'm sure I'll just be cooking in it. So
yeah, man, the West is interesting. Out in Virginia, it would stay hot at night, but here it's just like
cools off.
So,
Deserts.
yes, sir. But yeah, man, text us if you need anything, and
absolutely,
we'll do the same for you. And yeah, we really appreciate you. So thank you.
Yeah, we appreciate your comments and follows and all that stuff. I mean, we're just starting. We were talking yesterday. We're like the Hall of Famer of commenters is Elder Merrill. Like he's
yeah, man. We really appreciate it. It means a lot to us. So thank you.
Well, and that's what I learned in missionary work in COVID is like once you get comments rolling and likes and reactions, essentially, like that's when it starts to kick out to more people. So I'm just like, man, I'll feed into any Facebook page I see missionaries on. I'll feed into YouTube podcasts, like whatever it takes. Just help people out. Do a little bit.
Yeah. So thank you so much. But yeah, for real, like we mean that sincerely. Hit us up if you need help with anything. And I know you're the same for us. So we'll hit you up.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And when you post it, I'll blow it up on my social media. We'll get some more people. A&L Nation.
A&L Nation, bro. Awesome. Well, you have a good day and good luck throwing metal balls.
Frisbees.
Metal frisbees or whatever.
Absolutely. Love you guys. Have a good Saturday.
All right. See you, man.
See ya.